Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new documentary, Meet Me in the Bathroom, directed by Will Loveless and Dylan Southern, along with a couple other co-directors. And this new documentary from Showtime focuses on the early 2000s music scene full of punk and angst in New York City. And when it really comes down to it, it's honestly really about the Strokes. And for the most part, that's it. There are moments where it does focus a little bit on some of these other bands in this similar scene, but when it comes down to it, it's really about this particular band, which I don't know why they don't make that a little bit clearer, but I feel like this would have sold better. Like, my wife's like, oh, if I knew this was about the Strokes, I would have 100% wanted to watch this documentary. And it's just like, yep, nope. They just sell it as, like, this is the scene. And, yes, they do capture the scene very well. And I feel like the first third of this film is considerably better than the rest of it. Because it is raw. It is capturing the scene that they came from. It's much more authentic. And you spend a lot of time really understanding the perspectives and the personalities of these artists coming together, trying to navigate this new landscape of music and creating something that struck a chord with so many people in the late 90s into the early 2000s. And that part of the film feels so much more dynamic than what happens the other two-thirds of it, which there are some great moments of them performing their music and us seeing them connecting, but generally, it falls real fast into the most stereotypical structure and pace and flow of storytelling as 90% of rock docs out there. It became so generic out of nowhere. It lost all that energy and edge that the first third of the film had, and for the rest of it, it really did just read like a Strokes Wikipedia page. And, you know, I use that critique a lot, but it's the thing where it's just like, I don't need to watch a film if you're just going to be basically reading Wikipedia facts off to me through a film. And two-thirds of this film, for the most part, feels that way, besides the actual moments where we get to feel their performance and the music. If this film could have continued what it was doing that first part of the film with that energy and that attitude, this would have been a very unique and impactful film. But in many ways, it just devolves into the most generic, well, I've seen this, been there, done that kind of rock documentary that is boring and, like, the film's not boring. The trope, this approach is boring. It's boring that this continues to happen when you have so much that you can do from a filmmaking standpoint. But in general, I still learned a lot. I thought it was an enjoyable documentary. And it's not something to dislike. It's just could have been more. It could have been more dynamic, more interesting. But instead, it settles for getting the story across in the most simple, straightforward, and efficient way for at least two-thirds of the film. But those are my thoughts on Meet Me in the Bathroom. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.